G'day there guys, it's Connie here again from Marky Industries. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're reading some more stories from Reddit today, so as always, hit like and subscribe and all that stuff, and let's get straight into it. Okie dokie, as usual, we're on relationships. This one was written by user Not the Real Wit, and it's titled, Am I Just a Sexual Object to My Boyfriend? My boyfriend, 21, and I, 22, have been dating for about 6 months. He has always been very privately vocal about me sexually, and is, his words, obsessed with me and my body. He shows it, and our sex is really great. I feel very confident in that area. He wants to have sex with me constantly, and we often do it 4 to 5 times in a row per day because he asks so much and wants to keep going. It's always been consensual, but he definitely wants it more than I do a lot of the time. That's not the issue. This weekend, he took me to a music festival and we stayed at his best friend's house, we'll call him Jake, who also came with us to the festival on Sunday. We hung out with him a lot. The festival was out of town in a more progressive and warm place, important later. I do not like very much public displays of affection, if any at all, no matter who it's in front of. I hate making anyone uncomfortable, but it makes me uncomfortable most of all. He knows this and always has, so we only hold hands in public and sometimes kiss quickly. The entire weekend he was very grabby of my body and would come up behind me and grab me and start kissing my neck, and it made me so uncomfortable. I would tell him that I didn't want it and he would stop but then do it again. At the festival I was trying to listen and enjoy the music, and he would try to get me to grind on him in front of Jake, and I definitely didn't want to. This part also was very minor because I understood the setting and his feelings, but I did let him know I was uncomfortable with it many times. It would go on and off the whole night. The part that bothers me the most is his comments and the things he brings attention to. On Sunday, I wore a cute top and I could have worn a bra with it. I was nervous about being too exposed since I'm not used to it, but he convinced me that since we were in a more progressive place that it would be fine and that no one would care. I mentioned that I didn't want to make Jake uncomfortable, and he let me know that Jake has had plenty of girlfriends who have dressed this way. It was definitely ultimately my choice to go without a bra, but I wouldn't have done it if he didn't convince me. I would have been fine if he didn't draw attention to my boobs the entire day, but he did. We met up with Jake at a restaurant, and while on the phone with each other, and while Jake was trying to locate us, my boyfriend said, "Do you see her chest?" I lightly hit his arm and told him not to say that, and he laughed it off as a joke. Then, when we were in the restaurant, he mentioned to Jake that I was uneasy about being braless, and we chatted about it a bit. I explained that I was comfortable with my own body, but I just wasn't used to showing much. My boyfriend made another comment about them, and when I walked forward to order food, he said to Jake, "I'm allowed to say that because I'm the one who gets to do things with them." When no one was looking, he would grab my nipples and try to get them to perk up, and was very handsy on me, like he needs to prove that he's the one who gets to touch me and have sex with me. I hate it. Later, we were talking about a student at the high school I teach at, who is the younger brother of Jake's roommate. Jake told us that the student kept asking if my boyfriend and I were still together, and Jake made some jokes and said, "Why, does he think he has a shot?" It was funny until my boyfriend said, "He just wants to be inside you." I wanted to throw up. Why would he say something so explicit about a minor with me? I exclaimed, "What did you say?" and he repeated it. I told him to stop saying stuff like that, and he laughed it off and said, "Well, it's true." Jake then said, "Dude, you gotta stop with that. I'm officially scolding you. Do you feel scolded? No more of that." He was trying to be light, but I knew even Jake thought it was way over the line and defended me. Finally, that night, I wanted to get my boyfriend's hoodie so that I could just wear it over my top because I didn't have one, but it was in his car, and we left his car parked somewhere else. I let him know that, and Jake heard us and asked where my boyfriend was going, and he told him I wanted a hoodie but we didn't have his car. Jake immediately brought me to his room and let me pick out a hoodie, and when I told him I felt bad, he said, "I don't want you to keep feeling so uncomfortable, plus it's cold." It was very sweet, and I felt better the rest of the night. But my boyfriend got weird about me wearing his best friend's hoodie. Anyway, I'm just going on a long tangent now, but that's what my weekend was like. I had a lot of fun, and I loved getting close with this friend, but it was hard with everything going on.
I found myself liking to be around Jake more than my own boyfriend because he was respectful and kind and listened to me the entire weekend. I'm just really upset with my boyfriend because I constantly told him I was uncomfortable and I felt icky about it, but he refused to respect it. He's pretty insecure, and I firmly believe he thinks it's cool to prove that I'm the thing he can have sex with and touch and be with. I hate that so much, and I don't want it anymore. I talked to him about it on the car ride home, but he got offended and then started telling me that I'm just in love with Jake and I don't want to be with him anymore, which isn't true. Then that night we were texting about it, and I tried explaining all of this to him again, and his text back said exactly, "You just told me how much you want me to want you. I realize you also told me I was making you uncomfortable, but I really wasn't trying to. I'm sorry, I literally want to die." I told him that I like that he wants me a long time ago, and I still do, but I like it when we're in private, if it's going to be so sexual. I just feel a little violated because even if this whole situation doesn't seem like a big deal, it was my boyfriend doing it and not respecting me. I can barely even kiss him now because I don't want to give it to him. I really do love him, so I'm having a hard time with all of this. What should I do? Is the relationship worth saving, or am I just a sexual object? Honestly, just reading it, you get bad vibes. It's just pure objectification at this point. And the comment about the minor, makes your skin crawl. Let's go to the comments. I really think you need to leave. The apology you received is not an apology. You see the lack of real remorse. "I want to die" is simply a manipulative way to get the sympathy on him and get you to feel bad for speaking up at all. He didn't just parade you around. He grabbed at you. Just because he's your boyfriend doesn't make this stuff not sexual harassment. The constant grabbing at your nipples was sexual assault. You didn't want it. It was at the point where Jake stood up for you and he still didn't drop it. It's not as simple as him seeing you as a trophy. It's about his sense of entitlement to do what he wants to your body, to humiliate you, degrade you in front of others, to make it clear your consent doesn't matter if he's decided to pretend to be ignorant. Please leave. This doesn't get better with a discussion. It didn't. That apology was worth nothing. Oh boy, just reading this gave me the creeps. You are a trophy to him to be paraded around and shown off. You are not a person. He's shown this by disregarding your feelings and boundaries multiple times and just being a plain creep. He then tries the "I want to die" line in order to make you pity him. Girl, run. This is only going to get worse. Quote, "We often do it 4 to 5 times in a row per day. Do you see her chest? I'm allowed to say that because I'm the one who gets to do things with them. You are something to have sex with. He is not respecting you or your body. Having sex 5 times a day is excessive, but I think you're afraid to say no. When you place a boundary, that boundary should be respected until you say otherwise. Respecting a boundary for 2 seconds and then immediately pressuring it again is not okay, ever. Yes, you're just a sex object to him. He gets off on showing you off to his friends, and he does not care about your comfort in that. Getting his kicks is more important to him than your opinion. He could grow out of it in the next few years, or he could not. He is insecure. I had a similar incident happen with an ex a few years ago. We'd been together for 2 years without any problems of the kind, until we went to a party with a couple of friends of ours, and he got way too drunk. He insisted that we play stripping games. I was the only female present by that point, and when one of our friends and I kept losing, he would complain about us trying to keep some semblance of modesty, saying that we weren't playing the game properly. He tried to rip strategically placed items of clothing away from us. Then he started talking loudly about our sex life in front of everyone, boasting about things that we had done that I didn't exactly want paraded around at the party. He even tried to demonstrate, grabbing me and trying to touch me and pull what remained of my clothes off of me. I was horrified and fought to get away from him. One of my friends managed to move between us and kept us apart. I was so angry that when we got back to our room, I screamed and shouted at him until he cried and apologized. But I don't think our relationship could be fixed after that, and in hindsight, I'm disappointed in myself that I even tried. I'd felt afraid of him. That should have been a bigger sign. If you're in these sorts of situations, just get out. He doesn't respect you. He will embarrass you in public to boost his own ego or even frighten you. Find someone like Jake who will treat you like a human being, and let's hope that your boyfriend will grow out of this behavior as a result. Yeah, some good insights there. Okay, Opie updates 3 months later. In my previous post, I'd asked if I was being sexualized by my boyfriend and why I felt more comfortable with his best friend, Jake. I'm very grateful for all the comments and advice I got. Turns out that yes, I was just a sexual prize for him, and also turns out that Jake isn't so much of a good guy, but that's another story. It took me a little while, but I finally gained the strength to leave my boyfriend about a month after I posted it. My post wasn't huge, but I figured if anyone was interested, they might like to know that I'm now dating Jake's ex-girlfriend. I think I got the best thing out of this whole situation that I could. Thanks for your help, everyone. Edit. First off, I want to say thank you. The majority of you are so sweet, and I'm thankful for the support of what was a really hard time for me. Now, it seems like I have to clarify, but I am bisexual and now dating Jake's ex-girlfriend, not my boyfriend's ex. I'm not in contact with either men, and neither is my girlfriend. None of us even live in the same area. I met her once before, and we weren't like a group of friends together or anything. The only friendship was between my boyfriend and Jake, so there's no conflict there. My relationship is literally brand new. I posted this update right when we finally started dating. I had plenty of time between my old relationship and this one to reflect and to learn to love myself, which was extremely easy to do after leaving him. Everyone is different and needs different time periods and space to grow and learn. I'm happy now with someone I genuinely feel comfortable with and someone who won't ever make me feel the way both my ex and Jake made me feel. And that's all this is. One comment says, "Good for you. What a plot twist. Curious, what did Jake do? My guess, he was just nice to try to seduce you. Maybe he's one of those nice guys. Anyways, wish you lots of luck in your new relationship." Opie says, "In short, this is what happened. Thank you." Opie comments on being told maybe she shouldn't have jumped into a new relationship right away. I am happy alone, but that doesn't mean I have to be alone. I'm healthy and very stable in who I am, and that's not what this was about. Well, that was a plot twist that I didn't see coming, but good on you. Turns out Jake isn't so much of a good guy, and I'm now dating Jake's ex-girlfriend. This is the content I'm on the internet for, and the outcome I didn't even realize I wanted. Genuinely very happy for you, OP. Yeah, I must admit the whole dating Jake's ex-girlfriend bit gave me a bit of whiplash, but hey, a happy ending's a happy ending, right? And yeah, I'm really not surprised Jake tried to slide his way in there as well. I mean, the fact that he was best friends with Opie's ex-boyfriend just kind of tells you what kind of character he might be. Anyway, guys, that's it from that story. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Either way, we're going to move on. Okay, we're jumping on over to Am I the A-hole? This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, Am I the A-hole for abandoning my wheelchair-bound best friend in a mall parking lot? I've been friends with, let's just call her A, for about 11 years. 3 years ago, she was involved in a car accident which left her wheelchair-bound. I'm 16 now, and I've been her best friend since I was 5. Her crash was a rough time for me personally as well. Of course, not as rough as hers, since my friend was in a car crash and I just lost my dog. But I put her in front of losing my dog, even though 13-year-old me was wrecked, and tried my best to be her rock while she was in tough times. After she got better, we hung out and was the same as before. Just that, as time went on, I felt like the power balance wasn't equal anymore. I was always taking care of her, and everything had to go her way. To an extent, I was okay with this, since I couldn't fathom going through what she was going through, so I kept my mouth shut and was there for her. Every phone call, every text, every "can you do this for me?" I did it. But at one point, I found that I held some resentment towards her, and this grew as everyone around me just expected me to take care of her. I couldn't do certain things because it reminded her of when she could walk, and I couldn't hang out with other people because she felt like she was losing me. I had to get up whenever she wanted to get something, pick up whatever food she ordered, tie her shoelaces, carry her bags around, walk her dog, take her things to class, and so on. Whenever I complained or tried to vent, I was always hit with the, "But imagine what she's going through, poor thing." And so, the resentment grew and grew. This blew up yesterday. Yesterday we were at the mall picking things out, even though because of my asthma I really didn't want to go out, and she got caught with some unpaid clothes in her bag. She just blamed me in front of everyone in the store, and only when the security camera showed her putting something in her bag, she admitted to lying. I was furious, and after I called a car for her, told her to stay away from me and find someone else to take care of your lazy ass since I'm not your frickin' mum, and left her in the surprisingly well-lit parking lot. Her mother, who was absent through a lot of this time due to God knows what, phoned my mother saying I broke her daughter's heart and abandoned her in a parking lot, and everyone except for my dad is telling me that I crossed a line and put her in danger, and to put myself in her shoes. Everyone is telling me that I'm not a true friend and that I'm selfish. It's kind of getting in my head, and I don't know if I'm as right as I thought I was. Sorry about how long this is. This was about 2.5 years worth of venting. But am I the a-hole? Geez, yeah, you can't understand resentment building in this situation. But also I feel like we need a little bit more info. Wheelchair bound doesn't necessarily mean immobile. Like, I feel as though it's a different situation if the friend can use her arms to roll around or use her phone or something like that than if she was completely immobile. Let's go to some comments. Info: why didn't the store call the police or her parents? It seems really strange they would go to the trouble of reviewing security footage to verify who shoplifted and then just let her go. Opie replies, haha, yeah, sorry about the unclear phrasing. So I'll answer this because a lot of these questions are here and in my chat. We weren't there to steal or anything. I was picking out some clothes, like to buy them. I said, got caught with unpaid clothes because I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt since it could have been an accident, but then she blamed me, so yeah. I called her a car since she was my friend for almost all my life, and it was my job for a lot of our relationship, so I did it. Also, I had the car's phone number on the top of my lists, so it was just more convenient. And yeah, she cried about her trauma and everything she went through, and the manager kinda looked scared to press her into anything, so he just warned her and let her go. I mean, it's hard to arrest a teen girl crying about her legitimately horrifying accident for stealing a couple of shirts. Felt a bit bad for him since he looked absolutely lost. So why did they even look at the footage? Were they going to press charges if you were the one who did the shoplifting? She replies, probably, but they did mainly because I caused a scene, and if I really did steal it and put someone else, especially someone vulnerable, the crime is a lot worse than just shoplifting, which I did not do, which then I would be pressed with charges. Okay, Opie updates the next day. I did not expect this much attention, so this was very unexpected. Thank you guys for being so nice to me and for giving me advice. I really appreciate it. 1. Sorry about the term wheelchair bound. I didn't know that was offensive, and I never really talked to her about her wheelchair. Sensitive topic for her, and I didn't want to push, so I never really learned the correct terminology. I can't change the title, but I'm sorry. 2. Dog thing. Yeah, my resentment kinda started with my dog being forgotten. While it is nothing to what she went through, I really liked the dog and I had to bury him myself, which started my unjustified and immature resentment. I was mad no one even talked about the dog, totally petty, but honestly, that started it. 3. I never really resolved my resentment, which is my bad because in the place I live, it's horrible for people with disabilities. As I accompanied her in her life, it gave me some insight on how hard life was for people who couldn't walk, and so my resentment would be suppressed with this feeling of gratefulness for my ableness. And 4. I left her in the exit of the parking lot, and there were glass doors to the outside. She had her phone, which she could use to call her mother. Don't know if she did though. And there was security in yelling reach. She could move around. Still, it wasn't great leaving her like that. It wasn't cool and I could have hurt her. Also, for those wondering, the car was the car we took to get to the mall, so we knew the driver and it fit her wheelchair. What I did. I told my parents the full story. My mother was fuming when she called A's parents, and they said they would talk to her. I also called everyone who was against me so I could tell them the full story, without having to be mean and unnecessarily public. Most of them quickly gave me the not the a-hole. I called her too and told her leaving her in the parking lot was wrong, but I wouldn't apologize for it as I could not forgive her for what she did. I told her to take care of herself from now on, and that I wouldn't be her friend anymore. My dad got me a new dog, and my parents hosted a real burial for my last dog. Just us three because of the pandemic, but it helped me a lot. My dad told me he was proud of me for doing what I did, and told me about boundaries and how important they were. In all honesty, I'm sort of glad this happened so I wouldn't have to be with her longer. I learned a lot about boundaries, toxic friendships, and how to talk about my emotions. Thank you guys for being so supportive. I really didn't expect this much people reading this, but thank you. I'm not friends with her anymore, but I've got my dog, so it's fine. And some final comments. Opie's friend is bad enough, but what kind of crap-stained parents make their adolescent child bury the family pet alone? What kind of crap-stained parents see their kid being subsumed and sucked into being a caretaker for a peer and don't step in? OP wasn't allowed to do things because it reminded friend of what she lost, and the parents didn't help her create space for her own needs. Poor kid. Yeah, agreed. I think it's safe to say that they probably should have stepped in a long time ago. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, folks, that's it from me right now. I hope you guys enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.